Success is not about being the best. It's about doing your best. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered if you were truly living up to your potential? Have you ever felt like maybe, just maybe, you're holding back from being the best version of yourself? You're not alone. A lot of us struggle with believing that we deserve success. But here's the truth. You don't need permission from anyone to be great. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to step into your full potential. We're going to talk about how to act as if you are the best, not out of pride, but because you deserve it. The way you carry yourself, the way you handle challenges, the way you show up for yourself every single day. All of this matters. This isn't about comparing yourself to others. It's about showing up in a way that reflects your own worth and capabilities. It's about realizing that you are enough and that you have everything it takes to achieve your goals. So if you're ready to start thinking bigger, acting bolder, and taking charge of your life, stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll have the confidence to own who you are and take the next steps toward the success you've been dreaming of. Let's get started. Number 1, believe you deserve success. When you think about success, what do you picture? For most people, success seems like something that only happens to a select few. Maybe it feels like it's for the lucky ones, or the ones who have something special about them. But let me tell you, success is for you too. It's not reserved for someone else. It's for anyone who decides they want it and believes they can have it. That's where it all starts. Believing you deserve success. If you don't believe you deserve success, you'll always find an excuse not to take action. You'll question yourself when opportunities come your way. You'll wait for a sign or for someone else to tell you it's okay. But you have to stop waiting. You need to believe it's your time. You need to believe that success is already yours. Now I know what you're thinking, but I'm just starting out. Or maybe you're thinking, I don't have what it takes yet. That's okay. Let me tell you, nobody has everything they need at the start. Everyone starts somewhere. Everyone faces challenges. But the difference between those who make it and those who don't is the belief they carry. It's all about how you see yourself. When you start to believe you deserve success, your actions change. When you truly believe you're worthy of something great, you start acting like it. You begin to make decisions based on where you want to go, not where you've been. You stop playing small. Let me give you an example. Think about a professional athlete. You can't tell me that every single one of them knew from day one that they were the best. But what they did know was this: they were willing to put in the work. They believed in their potential. They didn't let fear of failure stop them, and they didn't let anyone else's opinion hold them back. Now you might say, but they have natural talent. Maybe they do, but that's not the real reason they succeed. The real reason is that they believe in their ability to win. They believe they deserve to be the best. And that belief drives them to do the work that most people are unwilling to do. You need to ask yourself, why can't that be you? Why can't you believe you deserve success just as much as anyone else? It's time to stop selling yourself short. It's time to stop holding back. Success isn't just for the people you look up to. It's for you too. You see, the most important thing you can do is stop doubting yourself. Stop waiting for permission to be great. Stop waiting for someone to tell you that you can have what you want. The truth is, you don't need permission. You just need to believe it's possible and go after it. Because if you don't believe in your own potential, who will? Another thing I want you to remember is this: you are the product of your thoughts. If you think you don't deserve success, your actions will follow. You'll start making excuses. You'll procrastinate. You'll talk yourself out of taking risks. But if you believe you deserve it, you'll act differently. You'll take chances. You'll make the effort. You'll keep going even when things get tough. Because you know that success is part of your future. Start acting like you deserve to win. Walk into every situation with the mindset that you have what it takes. You don't have to wait until you feel ready. You can be ready right now. Your belief is the key that unlocks the door to the future you want. Think about how you walk. When you believe you deserve something, you hold your head up high. You walk with confidence. You smile. You greet people with warmth. And you know what happens? People notice. They respect you, they trust you, and they want to help you. That's how success begins. People start to believe in you when you first believe in yourself. Let me remind you of something else. You don't have to apologize for wanting success. Too many people hold themselves back because they don't want to seem arrogant or greedy. But that's not the problem. The problem is thinking that wanting success is wrong. It's not. Success is a positive thing. It allows you to help others. It allows you to grow. It allows you to create a life that you love. But here's the catch. You have to work for it. Believing you deserve success is the first step. But you have to put in the effort. You have to show up every single day and give it your best. And that's where many people fall short. They want the success without the effort. But the truth is, there's no shortcut. You need to put in the work. And guess what? When you truly believe you deserve success, that work doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like the next step. It feels natural, because you're doing it for the right reasons. You're doing it to achieve what you know you're capable of. The last thing I want you to remember is this. You don't need anyone else's permission to succeed. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need someone to tell you that it's okay to dream big. You can dream big on your own. You can act as if you're the best right now. Because here's the thing. Success isn't about waiting for the perfect time. It's about believing in yourself now and acting like the person you want to become. The more you act like the person you want to be, the more the world will treat you like that person. So today, start believing that you deserve success. Don't wait for a sign. Don't wait for permission. Believe in your worth. Believe that you are capable of greatness. And then go out and prove it with your actions. You deserve success. And it's time to start living like you believe it. Number 2, handle problems like a pro. Life doesn't always go the way we plan, does it? We all face problems, big ones, small ones, expected ones, and some that hit us out of nowhere. But here's the truth. Problems are a part of life. They come and they go. The real question is, how do you handle them when they come your way? Handling problems is something everyone needs to learn. And it's one of the most important skills you can have. Let's face it, life isn't going to be perfect all the time. You'll face setbacks. You'll run into challenges. But how you handle those problems is what will make all the difference in your life. When problems show up, most people do one of two things. They either panic or they procrastinate. Neither of those is the right approach. When you panic, you get overwhelmed. You lose your sense of control. And the problem becomes bigger in your mind than it actually is. On the other hand, when you procrastinate, you put off dealing with it. You hope the problem will just go away on its own. But we both know that never happens. The problem will just grow, and eventually, it will demand your attention, and it will be bigger than ever. Now let's talk about handling problems like a pro. First things first, don't let the problem control you. You are in control, and you need to remember that. I get it. Some problems can be stressful. They can make you feel uncertain. They can even make you feel like you don't know what to do. But that's exactly when you need to take a deep breath. Step back and look at the situation clearly. One of the most important things to remember when you're facing a problem is that problems are rarely as bad as they seem. I know it might feel like the world is crumbling around you, but take a step back and you'll often realize that there's a solution, or at least a way forward. It's all about how you approach it. If you want to handle problems like a pro, the first thing you have to do is stay calm. When you stay calm, you can think clearly. You can look at the problem and break it down into smaller parts. Instead of getting overwhelmed by the whole thing, you focus on one step at a time. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that no matter what the problem is, you can handle it. There is always a way out. The next thing to remember is that problems are opportunities. That's right. Every problem you face is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to get better. It's easy to see problems as obstacles, but think about it this way. Every time you solve a problem, you become better at solving the next one. You gain experience, and that experience is priceless. So when problems come your way, don't just look at them as things you have to fix. Look at them as chances to improve yourself. The more problems you solve, the more you build your problem-solving muscle. You'll get better at it every single time. This is how you grow. This is how you get stronger. The challenges you face today will prepare you for bigger challenges tomorrow. Another thing to keep in mind is that you don't have to solve everything by yourself. It's okay to ask for help. I know a lot of people think they need to do everything on their own, but that's not the case. There's no shame in asking for advice or support when you need it. Sometimes, someone else might have a fresh perspective on the situation, or they might have faced a similar problem and can offer guidance. When you handle problems like a pro, you understand that you don't have to have all the answers. You just need to stay focused, take action, and be willing to learn along the way. If you don't know what to do, ask, research, talk to people. The more information you have, the better you'll be able to make decisions. Let's talk about the next step in handling problems. Take action. When a problem comes up, don't sit there waiting for it to fix itself. You've got to take action. Start by identifying the root cause of the problem. Once you understand the problem clearly, think about what actions you can take to fix it. Even if you don't have all the answers, take one step forward. The worst thing you can do is nothing. You see, a lot of times, people hesitate to take action because they're afraid of making the wrong move. They're afraid they might make things worse. But here's the truth. Taking no action is worse than taking the wrong action. At least when you take action, you're moving in the right direction. Even if it's just a small step, it's better than standing still. When you take action, you start to regain control over the situation. You stop feeling helpless, and you start feeling empowered. Remember, the best way to predict your future is to create it. You do that by taking action, even when things aren't perfect. But here's something else to think about. Don't make the same mistake twice. Problems come up, and that's okay. But you don't want to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over. Each time you face a problem, take the time to reflect and learn from it. What worked? What didn't work? What would you do differently next time? The key to handling problems like a pro is to keep improving your approach every time. By learning from each problem, you improve your problem-solving skills. You become more efficient. You become smarter. And most importantly, you become more confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Finally, one of the most important aspects of handling problems is never giving up. Life can be tough sometimes, but you have to keep going. No matter how difficult the problem is, you can't let it break you. You have to keep pushing forward. You have to remind yourself that every problem has a solution. And if you keep working at it, you will find that solution. Problems are going to come. That's a given. But how you handle those problems, that's entirely up to you. You can choose to be overwhelmed, or you can choose to rise to the challenge. You can choose to let the problem defeat you, or you can choose to tackle it head-on with confidence and strength. So when the next problem comes your way, remember this: you are capable. You have the strength, the knowledge, and the resilience to solve it. Don't panic. Don't procrastinate. Stay calm, take action, and learn from the experience. Problems don't have to hold you back. They can be the very things that propel you forward. Handle your problems like a pro, and you'll start to see the world differently. You'll realize that no problem is too big for you to handle. And that, my friend, is a powerful thing. Number 3, always give your best effort. You know, there's something truly special about giving your best effort in everything you do, whether it's your job, your relationships, or your personal growth. Putting in the best effort you can every single time sets you apart. The world doesn't reward people who just show up, do the bare minimum, and hope for the best. Success doesn't come to the one who does just enough to get by. No, success belongs to the ones who go all in, give everything they have, and leave nothing on the table. Now, don't get me wrong. Giving your best effort doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean getting everything right all the time. That's not the goal. The goal is to do your best with the resources, the knowledge, and the time that you have. The goal is to show up each day with the intention to give your absolute best, even when things aren't easy, even when no one's watching, and even when you feel tired or frustrated. You might be asking, why should I give my best effort all the time? Well, the truth is, giving your best effort is the only way to guarantee that you're moving forward. When you hold back or don't put in your full effort, you're essentially telling yourself and the world that you're okay with staying where you are. That's the easy way out, but it's also the path that leads to mediocrity. You have to make the decision: do you want to be average, or do you want to be exceptional? There's something about giving your best that builds confidence. When you look at something you've done, and you know you gave it everything you had, that's a feeling you can't get from just coasting through life. You feel proud. You feel powerful. And when you have that sense of accomplishment, you're motivated to keep going. You build momentum. You become unstoppable. But here's the thing about always giving your best effort. It's a habit. It's not something that comes naturally to everyone. And it's definitely not something that just happens overnight. You have to practice it. You have to consciously decide every day that you're going to give your best, no matter what. Sometimes life can feel overwhelming. You're juggling work, personal life, responsibilities, and sometimes it seems like there's just not enough time in the day. It's easy to think, I'll just do the bare minimum for now. But here's the truth. When you take shortcuts, when you choose not to give your best, it starts to become a pattern. And before you know it, that pattern becomes your habit. Then you find yourself stuck in a cycle of doing just enough. You're not growing, you're not improving, and worse yet, you're not reaching your potential. Think about it. If you want better results in life, you have to be willing to put in more effort. You have to be willing to push yourself when it feels uncomfortable. You have to be willing to keep going when others are giving up. Success comes to those who are willing to outwork, outlast, and outthink everyone else. And that only happens when you're giving your best effort in everything you do. This doesn't mean you have to give 100% every second of every day. We all have our limits, and it's important to rest, to recharge, and to take care of ourselves. But when it's time to work, when it's time to show up and give your all, do it with everything you've got. Because when you do, you'll notice a difference. You'll see how much more you're capable of. And you'll realize that you're not just doing things for the sake of doing them. You're doing them with purpose. One of the biggest reasons people don't give their best effort is because they're afraid of failure. They're afraid that if they try their hardest and don't succeed, they'll look foolish or be disappointed. But listen closely. Failure is not the enemy. It's a part of the process. You can't get to success without going through failure. In fact, the more you fail, the more you learn, and the better equipped you are for the next challenge. When you give your best effort, you're not just aiming for success, you're aiming for growth. You're aiming for improvement. Every time you put forth your best effort, even if the results aren't perfect, you're learning something new. Maybe you're learning a new skill, or maybe you're learning what doesn't work. But either way, you're moving forward. That's what matters. There's another side to this too. When you give your best effort, you inspire others. Whether you realize it or not, people around you are watching. They're watching how you handle challenges. They're watching how much effort you put into everything you do. And guess what? When you give your best, you set an example for others. You show them what's possible when you commit fully and go all in. Think about the people who have inspired you in your life. They didn't get to where they are by doing the bare minimum. They got there by showing up, giving everything they had, and never quitting. They set a standard that made you want to step up and do your best, too. That's the power of effort. It's contagious. Now let's talk about the reward of always giving your best effort. It's not just about achieving the goal or receiving recognition. Sure, those things are nice, but the real reward is in the growth, the sense of accomplishment, and the pride that comes from knowing you gave it your all. When you do your best, you get to live with the confidence that you did everything you could to make something happen. And that confidence translates into every area of your life. But don't expect it to be easy. Giving your best will challenge you. It will push you out of your comfort zone. But that's where growth happens, outside of your comfort zone. The more you stretch yourself, the stronger you become. The more you push through the obstacles, the more you build resilience, and the more effort you put into every task. No matter how small, the closer you get to becoming the person you're meant to be. It all starts with a choice. You can choose to show up and give your best every day, or you can choose to do the minimum. The decision is yours, but remember this, the effort you put in today will shape your tomorrow. If you want to see a different outcome, you've got to make a different choice. And that choice starts with giving your best effort in everything you do. So the next time you face a challenge, don't hold back. Don't give half of what you've got. Give it your all. Go the extra mile. And when you do that, you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. You'll be proud of the work you've done. And most importantly, you'll know deep down that you gave your best. That's something that can never be taken away from you. Number 4, ignore the haters and doubters. When you're out there chasing your dreams, putting in the work, and pushing yourself to become better, there's something you're going to encounter sooner or later. Haters and doubters. They come in all shapes and sizes. Some of them might be people you know well, and others could be strangers you'll never meet. They will try to tell you that it's not possible, that it's too hard, or that you'll never make it. But here's the truth. Their doubts are not your truth. People who hate or doubt you often come from a place of fear. They're afraid of what your success might mean for them. They're afraid of the changes that your growth might cause in their own lives. And sometimes, they're just upset because they're not doing what they should be doing with their own lives. So they project their insecurities onto you. But let me tell you something. Those people have nothing to do with your journey. They are not the ones who are going to live your life. So why let them control it? There will be times when their words or actions might sting. It's natural to feel hurt when someone you care about questions your dreams or tells you that you can't achieve what you're working towards. But don't let those words define you. Don't let them stop you from pursuing what you want. You've got to develop a thick skin and a strong resolve. You've got to learn to tune out the noise and stay focused on your vision. The problem is, a lot of people take those negative comments to heart. They start second-guessing themselves. They start questioning their worth, their abilities, and whether they're capable of reaching their goals. And that's exactly what the haters and doubters want. They want you to doubt yourself, to give up, and to settle for less than what you deserve. But I want you to make a commitment right now. Don't let anyone dim your light. When you're building something special, when you're working on your dreams, you'll face criticism, and that's okay. The road to success is never a straight line. It's full of bumps, detours, and roadblocks. But here's the thing about criticism. It's often a reflection of the person giving it, not you. The people who criticize you are not necessarily better than you. They're just dealing with their own issues and projecting their fears onto you. Don't take it personally. Don't let it stop you from doing what you know you need to do. Instead, let their doubt fuel your fire. Let it motivate you to prove them wrong, because the best revenge is living well. When you succeed, when you reach your goals, you'll show them, and more importantly, you'll show yourself that you were right all along. That's the power of ignoring the haters and doubters. Their negativity has no hold over you unless you give it power. Here's something important to remember. Your vision is yours. Your dreams are yours. No one else can see them the way you do, and no one else can tell you what's possible for you. Only you get to decide what you're capable of. So when someone doubts you or tells you that you can't do something, just smile and keep moving forward. Their opinions don't define your reality. You might be thinking, but it's hard to ignore the people who don't believe in me. And you're right, it's not always easy. But think about it this way. If you listen to the doubters, if you let their negativity take root in your mind, you're giving them power over you. You're giving them control over your dreams. You're letting someone else dictate how far you can go. Do you want to give someone else that power? I didn't think so. Instead, put your energy into what matters. Focus on your goals. Focus on the things that will take you where you want to go. The more energy you give to the doubters, the less energy you have for yourself. And trust me, the last thing you want to do is waste your precious time on negativity. The more you focus on your journey and what you can control, the more you'll see your progress, and the more you'll realize that their doubts don't matter. And don't just ignore the doubters. Use their doubt as fuel to keep going. Every time someone says you can't do it, use that as a reminder to push harder. Use their words to remind yourself that you're on the right path. When people doubt you, it's often a sign that you're doing something different, something that makes them uncomfortable. But that discomfort is a good thing. It means you're not following the crowd. It means you're stepping out of the ordinary and doing something extraordinary. At the same time, don't be surprised if the people who doubt you are the ones who end up needing your success the most. They might try to bring you down, but when you rise above them, they'll be forced to watch from the sidelines as you go after what you want. And guess what? When they see you succeed, when they see you achieve what they said you couldn't, they might just change their tune. They might even start asking you for advice. That's the power of ignoring negativity. When you succeed, it becomes clear who was right. But remember, there will always be haters. There will always be people who don't believe in you. That's just a part of life. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can move forward with your goals. Because when you focus on your journey and ignore the noise, you put yourself in the best position to succeed. You stop allowing anyone to dictate your worth or your potential. So here's what I want you to do. The next time someone doubts you, brush it off. Don't let their words linger in your mind. And if you're feeling discouraged by the negativity, remind yourself that you are in control. You are the one who decides your path. And if you keep pushing forward, if you keep working toward your goals, you will prove everyone wrong. The best way to do that is by staying focused, staying positive, and never letting anyone tell you that you can't. You have what it takes to succeed. You have the ability to achieve everything you've set out to do. And no one, no hater, no doubter can take that away from you unless you let them. So rise above the negativity, stay true to yourself, and keep pushing forward. Because in the end, you are the only one who gets to decide how far you can go. And when you make the decision to ignore the doubters, you're already halfway there. Number 5. Carry yourself like a champion. When you walk into a room, do you carry yourself like someone who knows their worth? Or do you slouch, unsure, hiding from the spotlight? Listen, how you carry yourself in life says everything about how you view yourself and the value you place on your dreams. If you want to be successful, you need to carry yourself like a champion every single day. But what does that really mean? First, it starts with belief. A champion believes in their ability to win. A champion knows they have what it takes to succeed. So you've got to ask yourself, do you believe that you can achieve what you set out to do? If not, you're going to have a hard time carrying yourself like a champion. Your belief in yourself is the foundation for everything else. If you don't believe in your worth, why would anyone else? When you believe in yourself, it shows. It shows in the way you walk, in the way you speak, and in the way you carry yourself through life. Champions don't wait for others to validate them. They don't need permission to be great. They walk with their head held high, knowing they're worthy of success. They don't make excuses, and they don't shrink from challenges. They take them on because they know they have the strength to overcome them. But belief alone isn't enough. You also have to act like a champion. Champions show up day in and day out. No matter what, they don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't wait until everything is aligned perfectly. They just take action. They put in the work, and they do it consistently. If you want to carry yourself like a champion, you've got to show up every day, even when it's tough. Because success doesn't come to those who quit. It comes to those who are relentless, who keep pushing even when it feels like the odds are against them. How you treat others also reflects how you see yourself. Champions treat others with respect and kindness, even when they don't have to. They lift others up instead of tearing them down. When you treat others well, it shows that you're secure in who you are. You don't need to put others down to make yourself feel better. A champion doesn't need to belittle people to feel superior. They know their value, and they let their actions speak for themselves. Carrying yourself like a champion also means owning your success and your failures. A champion doesn't shy away from responsibility. They take ownership of their choices, both the good and the bad. When they win, they take pride in their hard work and perseverance. When they lose, they don't make excuses. They learn from their mistakes and keep moving forward. A champion never lets failure define them. They use it as fuel to push harder next time. Now let's talk about your appearance. A champion doesn't neglect their appearance, because how you present yourself tells the world how you feel about yourself. You don't have to wear a suit every day, but you should take pride in how you look. Clean clothes, good posture, a confident attitude. These are the small details that add up. When you look the part, you start to feel the part, and when you feel like a champion, you act like one. But remember, looking like a champion is not just about how you dress or how you walk. It's also about how you think. Champions think big. They don't limit themselves to small goals or easy paths. They challenge themselves to do better, to be better, and to make an impact. A champion never settles for mediocrity. They always strive for excellence. And you should too. Being a champion also means protecting your energy. Champions know that the people they surround themselves with can either lift them up or bring them down. If you're hanging out with negative people who bring drama, who complain, who hold you back, then you're not carrying yourself like a champion. A champion chooses their circle wisely. They surround themselves with positive, ambitious people who inspire them to grow. They know that their time and energy are too valuable to waste on anything less than greatness. It's about having standards for your life. Champions set high standards for themselves. They don't just settle for good enough. They want to be the best version of themselves, and they do what it takes to get there. When you set high standards for yourself, you attract higher quality people and opportunities. People can see the standard you set, and they rise to meet it. If you allow mediocrity in your life, then that's exactly what you'll get. But when you carry yourself like a champion, you inspire others to do the same. Finally, carrying yourself like a champion means being resilient. Life is full of setbacks, challenges, and hard times. But champions don't let adversity break them. They bounce back, they get up, they fight. A champion sees every obstacle as an opportunity to grow. They know that setbacks are temporary, but the lessons they learn from them last forever. They don't give up when things get tough. They get tougher, and that's the mindset you need to carry with you. If you want to be a champion, when you start carrying yourself like a champion, everything changes. You stop doubting your worth. You start believing in your potential. You put in the work, you take responsibility, and you hold yourself to high standards. You don't settle for anything less than excellence. And when you do that, the world can't help but take notice. People will start to treat you like the champion you already know you are. Opportunities will open up for you. Success will start to come your way. But it all starts with you. It starts with the way you see yourself, the way you carry yourself, and the way you show up every single day. Champions don't wait for permission to be great. They take it, they make it happen. And that's exactly what you can do too. Start today, carry yourself like a champion, and watch how everything in your life begins to change. Number 6, make decisions quickly and stick to them. Making decisions is one of the most important skills you can develop in life. The truth is, life moves quickly. Every day you're faced with choices, big and small, and those choices shape your future. So the question becomes, how do you make decisions that will move you towards success? And more importantly, how do you make decisions quickly and stick to them? First, let's talk about the importance of making decisions quickly. Now, this isn't about rushing through everything, making careless decisions without thinking. It's about not letting fear, doubt, or overthinking paralyze you. A lot of people spend too much time thinking, questioning, and second-guessing themselves. They become so caught up in the what-ifs that they never actually make a move. Let me tell you this, you can't move forward in life if you're constantly stuck in indecision. Here's the thing, indecision is a decision. When you're not making a choice, you're choosing to stay in the same place. You're choosing to be stagnant. And stagnation is the enemy of progress. Every minute you spend wondering what to do, someone else is already making decisions and moving forward. Time doesn't wait for you to get it together. It keeps moving, and you need to move with it. So what can you do? First, you need to be decisive. When an opportunity comes your way, or when you're faced with a challenge, don't overcomplicate things. Trust your gut, make a decision, and stick with it. It's easy to get caught up in the details, but if you're constantly waiting for the perfect time, the perfect situation, or the perfect plan, you'll never get anywhere. There will never be a perfect time. So make the best decision you can with the information you have, and go for it. The more you make decisions, the better you'll get at it. Now here's something that's really important. Don't fear failure. A lot of people hesitate to make decisions because they're afraid of making the wrong choice. But here's the truth. No decision is ever truly wrong if you learn from it. You can make mistakes along the way, but the key is to not let fear of making the wrong decision stop you from moving forward. Sometimes you learn more from the mistakes than you do from the successes. And those lessons, those failures, will shape you into someone who can make better, smarter decisions in the future. Next, remember that your decisions are a reflection of your goals. If you have clear goals in life, making decisions becomes easier. When you know what you want, the decisions you make are aligned with that vision. If you don't have a clear direction, it's easy to get lost in the options and second-guess yourself. But when you have a target, when you know exactly where you're going, decisions become like stepping stones leading you toward your destination. You make the decision, and you move forward with purpose. That brings us to the next point, sticking to your decisions. Once you've made a decision, don't waver. The moment you start second-guessing yourself, you're giving up your power. When you make a decision, you need to fully commit to it. This is where so many people fall short. They make decisions, but they don't follow through. They doubt themselves. They allow outside voices or temporary setbacks to shake their resolve. And then they wonder why they don't get the results they're hoping for. Let me tell you this, Success doesn't come from making the right decisions. It comes from making decisions and sticking to them. No matter what obstacles you face, no matter what distractions come your way, you have to stay committed. Commitment is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. It's easy to make a decision when everything is going well. But the real test comes when things get tough. That's when you have to dig deep and keep going, even when you don't feel like it. One of the best ways to stick to your decisions is to break them down into small, manageable steps. Big decisions can be overwhelming, but if you focus on the next step, the next action, it becomes much easier. Don't try to solve everything at once. Take it one step at a time and keep moving forward. It's about progress, not perfection. Also remember that your environment plays a huge role in your ability to stick to your decisions. Surround yourself with people who support your goals and your decisions. Negative people, doubters and naysayers, will only make it harder for you to follow through. Find a circle of people who believe in you, who will push you to stay committed and hold you accountable. You don't need anyone bringing you down while you're trying to level up. You also have to learn to be patient with yourself. Success doesn't happen overnight, and sometimes your decisions might not pay off as quickly as you'd like. That's okay. If you've made the right decision and you're moving in the right direction, it will pay off in time. The key is consistency. Keep taking action, keep making progress, and trust that you're on the right path. But here's the thing. When you make a decision, you have to fully commit to it. Don't look back. Don't second guess yourself. Don't let the fear of failure stop you. You have to keep moving forward, even if you're not sure what's going to happen. That's where growth happens. That's where success is built, by making decisions, sticking to them, and continuing to push forward no matter what. When you make decisions quickly and stick to them, you'll start to see a shift in your life. Things will start moving faster. Opportunities will start opening up. You'll feel more confident in your ability to take charge of your life. And most importantly, you'll start seeing the results of your decisions. Success won't feel so far away. It will start to feel closer, within reach. But don't get discouraged if things don't happen right away. Rome wasn't built in a day, and your success won't be either. Keep showing up, keep making decisions, and keep sticking to them. Because the more you do it, the easier it gets. And the more momentum you build, the more progress you'll make. And that's when you'll really start to see the magic happen. So the next time you're faced with a decision, remember, don't hesitate. Don't overthink. Make the best decision you can and stick with it. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back. Trust yourself. Take action. Stay committed and watch your life change, one decision at a time. Number 7, take responsibility for everything. Taking responsibility for everything in your life is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. It might not always be the easiest, but it will always be the most rewarding. When you take responsibility, you take control. You stop waiting for things to change, and you start changing things. You stop blaming others or circumstances, and you start realizing that you have the power to shape your own future. First, let's get this clear. Responsibility isn't about blaming yourself for everything that happens in your life. It's not about saying you're to blame for every mistake or failure. No, responsibility is about owning your role in whatever happens. It's about understanding that while you may not have control over every situation, you always have control over how you respond to it. And that response can make all the difference. When you take responsibility, you stop being a victim. You stop seeing yourself as someone at the mercy of the world. You stop believing that life is happening to you. Instead, you start seeing that you are the one creating your life. You become the author of your story, and this is where true power lies. Let's talk about the power of taking responsibility for your actions. Look, things don't always go according to plan. We all face setbacks, disappointments, and challenges. But how you handle those things is up to you. When something goes wrong, it's easy to blame someone else, your boss, your friend, your parents, the economy. But what good does that do? Blaming others only keeps you stuck. It keeps you powerless. It gives you an excuse not to act, not to take control, and not to improve. Instead, when something goes wrong, take responsibility. Ask yourself, what could I have done differently? What can I do now to fix this? What lesson can I learn from this experience? When you take responsibility, you stop wasting time on excuses and start focusing on solutions. You stop saying, "It's not my fault," and start saying, "What can I do to make this better?" That's where growth happens. That's where success starts. Taking responsibility also means taking ownership of your results. If you're not happy with where you are in life, take a good hard look at yourself. What choices have you made that got you here? And more importantly, what choices are you making now that will get you to where you want to be? You can't keep blaming your past, your upbringing, your circumstances. Yes, your past may have shaped you, but it doesn't have to define you. You have the power to make different choices today. You can choose to take responsibility for your actions and decisions, and start moving in a new direction. Let's be clear. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you have to do everything on your own. It doesn't mean you can't ask for help or seek advice. It simply means you are owning your part. You're not waiting for someone else to come and fix things for you. You're taking action, even when things are tough. And trust me, that's when the magic happens. Now, responsibility also means taking ownership of your emotions. How you feel is your responsibility. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you react. You can choose to stay positive, to stay focused, and to stay calm. No matter what's going on around you, you can't let other people's negativity or circumstances control your mood. You have the power to choose your response, and that's where your power lies. Taking responsibility means you also own your success. Too many people wait for the perfect opportunity, the right timing, or someone to give them permission to go after their goals. But here's the truth. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need the stars to align. You don't need everything to be perfect. All you need is to take responsibility for your own success. Go after what you want, without waiting for someone else to make it happen. Own your success. Own your journey. Stop waiting for things to be handed to you, and start working for what you want. One of the most powerful things you can do is take responsibility for your growth. Personal growth doesn't just happen. It's a choice. It's a decision to constantly improve, learn, and push yourself out of your comfort zone. When you take responsibility for your growth, you stop blaming your environment or your past for where you are today. You stop waiting for someone to change things for you. Instead, you take the initiative. You read the books, you learn new skills. You surround yourself with people who challenge you and help you grow. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you take responsibility for it and take action every single day. It's also important to take responsibility for your relationships. The people in your life, whether it's your family, your friends, or your coworkers, are a reflection of who you are. If you're unhappy with your relationships, ask yourself, what part have I played in this? Have I been a good friend, partner, or colleague? Have I communicated well? Have I been there when needed? Taking responsibility for your relationships means looking at yourself honestly and making improvements where necessary. It means not waiting for others to change, but being the change you want to see. Taking responsibility is also about being accountable. It's easy to make excuses and let things slide. It's easy to say, "I'll do it tomorrow," or "It's not my fault." But when you take responsibility, you hold yourself accountable for your actions, your decisions, and your results. You don't make excuses. You don't point fingers. Instead, you say, "I made a mistake, and I'm going to learn from it." You don't shy away from challenges. You step up, take ownership, and tackle them head on. And here's the thing. When you start taking responsibility, everything changes. Your life starts to improve. Your mindset shifts. Your results become a reflection of your efforts. The people around you begin to see you as someone who can be counted on, someone who takes ownership of their actions. You become a person of integrity, someone who leads by example. In the end, taking responsibility isn't just about owning up to your mistakes or your failures. It's about owning your success. It's about owning your growth. It's about taking full control of your life and realizing that you are the one who has the power to shape your future. The moment you take responsibility for everything in your life, you become unstoppable. You realize that you don't need anyone to give you permission. You don't need anyone to validate you. You have everything you need to succeed, right inside of you. All you need to do is take responsibility. And once you do that, there's nothing stopping you. Number 8, keep learning, but never doubt what you already know. Learning is one of the most powerful tools we have in life. It is a lifelong process that doesn't stop. Every day there is something new to learn, some new skill to master, or some new idea to consider. But here's the important thing. As much as we must keep learning, we must also never doubt what we already know. In fact, it's our foundation of knowledge, combined with the willingness to continue learning, that sets us up for real success. Let's start with this. Never forget that what you know today is a result of your past learning. Your experiences, your efforts, the books you've read, the people you've interacted with, all of these have contributed to the knowledge and wisdom you have right now. It's easy to forget that when you're faced with a new challenge, or when you encounter something that seems beyond your current abilities. But if you really think about it, everything you've learned so far has built you into the person you are today. So when you're faced with doubt, remind yourself of everything you've already learned. I want you to recognize something. You know more than you give yourself credit for. Right now, at this moment, you possess a wealth of knowledge. You've learned from your mistakes, your victories, and your failures. You've gathered experiences, you've taken action, and you've gained understanding along the way. So why do we doubt what we know? Why do we question ourselves when things get tough? The truth is, doubt is a natural part of the human experience. It's something we all face. But the key is to acknowledge that doubt doesn't need to define us. It doesn't need to control us. You can learn new things, expand your horizons, and grow your mind. But that doesn't mean you should doubt the value of what you already know. Your experiences, your skills, and the wisdom you've gained through your journey are crucial parts of who you are. Never let anyone, including yourself, take that away from you. Here's another thing. Don't let the fear of not knowing everything hold you back. There's this idea that to be successful, you have to have all the answers. But that's not true. Nobody has all the answers. The most successful people in life are not those who know everything. They are the ones who are constantly seeking knowledge, growing and improving, while at the same time standing firm in what they know. Knowledge isn't about knowing it all. It's about knowing enough and being willing to keep learning. The willingness to admit that there's always more to learn is what keeps you moving forward. But never doubt your current abilities or knowledge. The key is balance. You must stay open to learning, but you also must trust what you already know. Trust the knowledge you have gained. Trust the lessons you've learned from your experiences. Trust the skills you've developed over time. Trust that all of these things make you capable of taking on whatever comes your way. The best way to succeed in life is not to constantly second-guess yourself or doubt your abilities, but to build on the solid foundation of knowledge and experience you already have. You must also remember this: learning doesn't stop when you hit a certain age or reach a certain level of success. In fact, the more you grow, the more you realize how much there is to learn. There's always room to expand your understanding, improve your skills, and gain new insights. The most successful people are those who embrace continuous learning. They are never satisfied with what they know. They seek out new information, new perspectives, and new opportunities to grow. They keep learning because they understand that knowledge is power and that growth is a never-ending journey. However, with all the emphasis on learning, it's easy to become overwhelmed. You might start thinking that you need to learn everything before you take action, but that's another trap to avoid. Don't let learning become an excuse for inaction. Sometimes the best way to learn is to take action, to put what you know into practice, and to learn as you go. Action is just as important as learning because it turns knowledge into results. Don't get stuck in the loop of endlessly searching for more information while avoiding taking action. Trust what you know and move forward. Learn by doing. Another important point: never stop being curious. Stay open to new ideas, new viewpoints, and new ways of doing things. The world is always changing, and the people who succeed are those who adapt and keep up with those changes. But as you keep learning, always remember to filter what you learn through the lens of your values, your principles, and your past experiences. This helps you grow in a direction that aligns with who you are and what you want to achieve. Let me also remind you that the learning process doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to involve sitting in classrooms or reading endless textbooks. It can happen in everyday situations. It happens when you listen to people who know more than you, when you ask questions, when you reflect on your experiences, and when you step outside your comfort zone. You're learning every day, whether you realize it or not. You learn from your failures, from your victories, and even from your mistakes. there's also a certain beauty in the fact that learning is not something that ever has a final destination. You may have goals in mind, you may have areas you want to improve in, but there's no finish line when it comes to learning. It's a continuous process. So embrace it. Embrace the fact that you can always get better, always get smarter, always get wiser. That's what makes life exciting. The opportunity to learn and grow never goes away. But in the middle of all this, remember that learning is not just about accumulating information. It's not about simply knowing more. It's about becoming better at what you do. It's about mastering the skills that help you achieve your goals. The goal isn't to know everything. It's to be great at what matters most to you. That's where focus comes in. You want to focus your learning on what's most important to you, the areas that will make the biggest impact on your life. Don't get distracted by irrelevant information or things that don't align with your goals. You've already learned so much along your journey. So now, take that knowledge, trust it, and apply it. Keep learning, keep growing, but don't doubt what you know. Trust yourself. Trust that the knowledge you've gained is more than enough to take you where you want to go. When you combine that trust with a hunger for more knowledge and a commitment to continuous improvement, you're unstoppable. When you trust what you know and keep learning, you create a powerful combination. You're equipped to face challenges, to make informed decisions, and to keep moving forward. No matter what life throws your way, keep learning, but never doubt the wisdom you've already gained. It's your foundation for success, and it's more than enough to get you to where you want to be. Number 9, accept compliments with confidence. There's something powerful about receiving a compliment. It's a form of recognition, a way for others to acknowledge your efforts, your qualities, and your accomplishments. But for many, accepting compliments can be uncomfortable. Some of us feel awkward, undeserving, or even self-conscious when someone praises us. We might try to deflect it or downplay it, as if we don't fully believe we deserve it. But here's the truth. When someone gives you a compliment, it's a reflection of something real that they see in you. The key is learning how to accept those compliments with confidence. First, let's acknowledge the importance of receiving compliments. Compliments are not just about making you feel good in the moment. They are a recognition of your value, your effort, and your qualities. When someone compliments you, they're saying, "I see you. I appreciate what you've done." It's a validation of your hard work and character. And here's something important. You absolutely deserve it. You've earned it by showing up, by being you, and by contributing something positive to the world. Now let's talk about how you accept compliments. The first step is simple. Stop deflecting them. When someone says, "You did a great job," or "You look fantastic," don't immediately try to brush it off or minimize it. It's easy to say something like, "Oh, it was nothing," or "I didn't do that much," but that doesn't honor the compliment or yourself. It sends the message that you don't value what you've done or what you've been recognized for. Instead, when someone compliments you, simply say, "Thank you." Acknowledge it graciously and allow yourself to accept the praise. When you say thank you, don't just say it out of habit. Say it with appreciation. Let those words resonate with you. Feel the sincerity behind them. Understand that what the other person is acknowledging is real. You have the skills, the talent, the effort, or the quality that they are recognizing. When you say thank you, you're accepting that you are worthy of recognition. You're allowing yourself to step into that moment with confidence. Another important point is that you don't need to downplay your accomplishments. So many times, we feel the need to minimize what we've done, thinking that it might seem arrogant or boastful. But here's the thing. Recognizing your own accomplishments is not arrogance. It's self-awareness. You've worked hard, you've put in the effort, and you've made progress. So when someone acknowledges that effort, accept it with pride. You are deserving of that acknowledgement. But what happens when you feel like you don't deserve the compliment? Maybe you're used to doubting yourself or feeling like you haven't done enough. In those moments, remind yourself that you're worthy. Accepting compliments with confidence isn't about being perfect or having accomplished everything you set out to do. It's about recognizing that your efforts are valuable, that you are valuable, and that you deserve to be recognized for the things you've done well. It's about shifting your mindset from "I'm not good enough" to "I am enough." Another thing to consider is how accepting compliments can impact the way others view you. When you accept a compliment with grace and confidence, it sends a message to the other person. It shows them that you value yourself, that you are comfortable with your strengths, and that you recognize your worth. It's empowering to both you and the person giving the compliment. It builds confidence in yourself and encourages others to recognize and appreciate their own strengths as well. But let's go a step further. Accepting compliments with confidence also builds your sense of self-esteem. When you reject or deny compliments, you're denying your own value. You're saying to yourself, "I'm not worthy of this praise." That can slowly chip away at your confidence and self-worth. On the other hand, when you accept compliments openly and confidently, it strengthens your belief in yourself. It reinforces the idea that you are capable, talented, and deserving of good things. Over time, this mindset can lead to more opportunities and success in all areas of life. It's also essential to understand that when you accept a compliment, you are setting a positive example for others. Think about it. If you always brush off compliments or minimize your achievements, what kind of message does that send to the people around you? They might start thinking that it's not okay to acknowledge their own accomplishments. But when you confidently accept compliments, you encourage others to do the same. You show them that it's not only okay to accept praise, but it's also important to recognize and embrace your strengths. You're setting an example of self-respect and confidence that others can follow. As you start accepting compliments with confidence, you'll notice a shift in how you feel about yourself. The more you acknowledge your own value, the more you'll believe in your abilities. You'll start to see yourself in a new light, as someone who is capable, worthy, and deserving of success. You won't be waiting for permission or approval from others to feel good about what you've achieved. You'll be standing tall in your own truth, knowing that your accomplishments speak for themselves. And here's something crucial to remember. Accepting compliments is not about being arrogant or self-centered. It's about embracing your worth. It's about recognizing the good in yourself without feeling the need to hide it. Confidence is not about thinking you're better than everyone else. It's about knowing that you are valuable, that you have something to offer, and that your contributions matter. So when someone praises you, don't shrink back. Stand tall, say thank you, and accept that compliment with the confidence you deserve. In addition to accepting compliments with confidence, it's also important to learn how to accept feedback and constructive criticism. Compliments are easy to accept because they make us feel good, but feedback helps us grow. When we approach both compliments and criticism with an open heart, we allow ourselves to improve and become better versions of ourselves. But today, let's focus on those compliments, because learning to accept praise is an essential step in building self-assurance. Finally, remember that you don't need to wait for someone else to compliment you in order to recognize your worth. Compliments from others are wonderful, but the most important recognition comes from within. Be kind to yourself, acknowledge your achievements, and be proud of the progress you've made. When you learn to accept compliments with confidence, you're not only valuing yourself in the moment, but you're also building a foundation of self-belief that will carry you through every area of your life. So the next time someone gives you a compliment, don't shy away from it. Don't minimize it. Don't downplay it. Accept it with grace and confidence. Recognize that you are deserving of praise and that your worth is real. When you do this, you'll find that the more you accept your value, the more confident you'll become. And that confidence will open doors to greater opportunities, stronger relationships, and a life full of fulfillment and success. Number 10, don't apologize for being great. There's something many of us do almost instinctively when we start to excel. When we begin to achieve and stand out, we apologize. It's like we feel the need to downplay our success or shrink back when things go well. But let me tell you right now, stop apologizing for being great. You've worked hard, you've put in the effort, and you've earned every bit of success that comes your way. You don't owe anyone an apology for doing what you're supposed to do, living up to your potential, and being the best version of yourself. Now, I know why people do this. I've seen it happen countless times. Someone gets a promotion, lands a big deal, or simply excels in something they've been working on. And what do they say? "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to step on anyone's toes," or "I hope I didn't make anyone feel bad." But here's the truth. If you've earned that success, if you've put in the work and paid the price, you should never apologize for it. You've earned your place. You've earned the right to succeed. Let's get real here for a second. When you apologize for your greatness, you're sending the message that you believe your success is something to be ashamed of. You're telling yourself and the world that you don't deserve to be where you are, and nothing could be further from the truth. If you've worked hard to get where you are, if you've put in the effort, the hours, the sacrifice, it's not an accident. It's not something you should feel guilty about. It's the result of your determination, discipline, and belief in yourself. That's something to be proud of, not something to apologize for. Let's dive deeper into why people tend to apologize for their success. It often comes from a place of wanting to avoid drawing attention to themselves. We've been conditioned in many ways to think that being humble means downplaying our accomplishments. But there's a big difference between humility and self-deprecation. Humility is about recognizing that you didn't get to where you are alone, that others helped, that circumstances played a role, that you were fortunate in some ways. But self-deprecation, that's about belittling your achievements and denying your own worth. And that's where the problem lies. When you start to apologize for your success, you're denying the value of your work and the time you've invested. You're sending the message that you don't value yourself or the things you've accomplished. But you should. You should be proud of what you've achieved and stand tall in your successes. When you apologize for being great, you send the message that maybe, just maybe, you're not worthy of it. But trust me, you are. You are worthy of every win, every accomplishment, and every step forward you take in your life. This doesn't mean that you should walk around bragging or boasting. That's not what we're talking about here. Confidence isn't about arrogance. It's about owning your achievements without the need for validation or approval from others. It's about saying, I worked hard for this, and I'm proud of it. It's about showing up, day after day, and putting in the effort without worrying about whether or not other people will like it. You can be proud without being boastful. You can own your greatness without needing anyone else's approval. Think about it for a second. When you apologize for being great, what are you really doing? You're holding yourself back. You're dimming your own light, thinking that it's somehow wrong to shine. But the truth is, the world needs your light, your greatness, your success, your ability to achieve. These things can inspire others. When you apologize for your success, you're not just holding yourself back. You're also limiting the impact you can have on others. Here's a secret. When you stand firm in your greatness, when you embrace the fact that you've worked hard and earned your success, you inspire others to do the same. People look at you, and they think, if they can do it, so can I. You become a role model, not by showing off, but by showing up. You lead by example, and that's one of the most powerful things you can do in life. When you stop apologizing for being great, you start to truly believe in your own potential. You stop questioning whether you deserve success, and start accepting that success is your right. It's a shift in mindset that can change everything. Instead of seeing success as something rare and unattainable, you start to see it as a natural outcome of your hard work and dedication. It becomes a cycle. Success leads to more success, and each victory reinforces your belief in yourself. You also need to recognize that not everyone will be comfortable with your success. And that's okay. Some people might feel threatened. Some might even try to tear you down. But that's not your problem. Your success is about you. It's about your journey, your growth, and your ability to reach your goals. When you apologize for your greatness, you let those outside voices dictate your self-worth. But the only voice that matters is yours. This doesn't mean you should disregard others' feelings or act without empathy. You can still be kind and considerate, but you don't need to dim your light just to make others feel comfortable. It's a fine balance. But the key is in knowing that your greatness doesn't take anything away from anyone else. There's enough success to go around for everyone. And here's another truth. Success is contagious. When you stop apologizing for your greatness, you show others what's possible. You give them permission to pursue their own dreams, to go after what they want without feeling guilty or apologetic. You become an example of what's possible when you stop holding yourself back. You give others the courage to stand up and claim their own success. You may be thinking, but what if I'm not perfect? What if I still have a long way to go? The truth is, none of us are perfect. We all have areas where we can improve. But that doesn't mean we should apologize for the progress we've made. Every step forward counts. Every bit of success you achieve is a reflection of your effort and your growth. So instead of apologizing for not being perfect, celebrate the progress you've made and keep moving forward. When you stop apologizing for being great, you start to own your success. You stop questioning your worth. You stop holding back. And you start living the life you've always wanted to live. One that's full of confidence, pride, and accomplishment. You stop apologizing for being who you are, for achieving what you've achieved, and for showing up as your best self every single day. You start to see that being great isn't something you need to apologize for. It's something you should embrace. It's your time to shine. So stop apologizing and start owning your greatness. The world is waiting for you to step up. Your value doesn't come from what others think of you. It comes from how you see yourself. As we wrap up, remember this: the way you act, the way you carry yourself, and the way you believe in yourself. This is what truly sets you apart. It's not about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about showing up every day with confidence, with the belief that you're capable of achieving greatness. The next time you look in the mirror, remind yourself you are the best, not because of what you've already done, but because of what you're about to do. Don't wait for anyone's permission to believe in your own potential. You have the power to shape your destiny, and the time to start is now. So take what you've learned today and go out there. Walk like you're the best, act like you're the best, and never apologize for the greatness that's already within you. The world needs you at your best, and it's your time to shine. If you're ready to step up and take your life to the next level, don't just think about it, take action. The world is waiting for the best version of you, and that version is right inside you, ready to break through. Thanks for watching. Keep going, and remember, you've got this.